Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out. No rest for the wicked for British champion Callum Simpson out next weekend, February 1st. Lovely to see you out back so quickly, Callum, but don't you like to put your feet up a little bit?
I'll put my feet up after this next fight, I suppose, mate. But I think if you ask any boxer, all we want is to be active. All we want is a fight date, and yeah, what better than to get straight back out three weeks later.
Did you have any idea that you would be out so quickly? I mean, you said post-fight that you were looking for that Oakwell fight in the summer, but did you have any kind of whispers that you might be out so quickly?
Not all, mate. Not all. I went to go meet my manager Kevin Marie about 5 days ago. Just literally just to go and discuss what's next. Go through my last fight, and I would talk about what's happening in the summer with Oakwell. And he said, "Oh, I've got a strange one for you. Just been on the phone to Boxer and Sky 20 minutes ago. This has happened with Vidal, Riley, and Chamberlain. Do you want to fight in 2 weeks?" I said, "Is that?" I said, "Ask me silly questions. Of course I want to fight." So yeah, and here it is. Got confirmed obviously a couple of days ago. So yeah, luckily I've been I boxed on the Saturday like 4.5 minutes, and then I was in the gym on Monday training. So I've trained twice most days last week, and yeah, still in the gym. My weight's good. I weren't tucking into a burger when I got asked, but yeah, like I said, my weight's good, and yeah, ready to go.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because on this Zoom, of course, I'm not there with you in person, but I can see in your face, it doesn't seem like you've let any weight or put any weight on. So, did you get any rest at all? Did you enjoy the time away at all?
I had a good rest Sunday. I had a good rest on the Sunday. But no, I've not. Listen, I enjoy training. I enjoy being in the gym. And like I said, I think any boxer they want to be active. This I box full time, and I will be going away after this. A nice little break, holiday, rest, recharge, I suppose, and then getting ready for the summer. But yeah, like I said, I didn't have no holidays booked or anything like that. I think a lot of fighters they fight on the Saturday, and then they got a holiday booked like the next day and they're off. So
Yeah.
whereas I like to have a week, well, ideally I have a week back home, because there's always like loads of media stuff that people want you to do, the week after your fight. There's no point in me going fighting on a Saturday and disappearing for 2 weeks.
Mm.
I like to stay around, go to a few football games, down to London Sky Studios and do a few interviews and stuff. So yeah, otherwise if you fight Saturday, you're irrelevant then straight away. When you fly off straight away. So, but yeah, luckily, I didn't have anything booked in. To be honest, I don't like booking holidays in advance anyway because the amount of times shows get cancelled, dates get changed and stuff. It's just everything I do is last minute anyway.
No, I hear it. And under one of your social media posts announcing that you're going to be out next weekend, a follower posted saying that you got that Ricky Hatton appeal to you. Look, you're obviously well liked in Barnsley and further up north, but do you feel that sense of that following spreading further around the country?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well. Like I said, once I put that post up, I've had a lot of private messages and tweets. People saying that it's great to see me straight back out, great to see me active. That old school fighter mentality. Staying in the gym, keeping on it, and not fighting twice every year. So yeah, I think the following's growing. Like I had plenty of people again from. I think that guy was from Manchester that tweeted that, and yeah, I think I said I'm not quite on Ricky Hatton's level yet. Definitely nowhere near him. But yeah, I think that I feel like I come across well, and I've got an exciting fighting style. So yeah, I feel like people want to get behind me and support me, which is great.
Just to rewind slightly from that British title fight, like we was mentioned here earlier, it was a very quick outing for yourself, and some thought that might be a tougher test than it was to be, but you proved it wasn't. How do you reflect on your resounding win over Steve Woodall?
Yeah, I think made a few mistakes in there as I normally do, but yeah, we did most of the things that I wanted to do. Keep it long on the jab. Actually use my jab properly for once instead of rushing in and just trying to take everyone out. But yeah, I feel like I got a good win. The knockdown, the first knockdown especially. I think I knocked him out with a right uppercut, walking back up with the left, and then knocked him back out again with the right, and it were a heavy knockdown. And to be honest, I don't know if he actually beat the count. I think he got up at 9, which I'm sure you've got to get up at 8. So I don't know if that's why referee were a little bit wary. And then, yeah, just took it straight back on in him, and yeah, obviously got the stoppage.
Was it a a quick stoppage. Look, I know from your point of view that you've got to do your job, but there was some kind of conversation online as to whether maybe Steed probably could have been afforded a little bit more time. Did you think that way watching it back?
Um, in the ring, I knew that it were gone. When you watch it on, I watched it back on TV, and it's like, oh, it looks a bit early that. But when you're actually in there, you can see their eyes, you can see their facial expressions, and obviously only me and the referee can see that. And obviously when you watch from home, you can't see that. Whereas I could see is that it weren't gonna last. He obviously was up on his feet, but it wasn't punching back. I think the referee jumps in and then he goes to punch after when he gets himself back together, but it's too late for that. He was only going one way. If the referee hadn't stopped it, then he were gonna have to pick him up off floor a couple of seconds later.
Fair enough. This outing is for the Commonwealth title defence. Obviously, look, with a short notice, maybe getting a British title standard opponent might have been a little bit difficult. But can we say as to what your intentions are for the British title? Because I think defence might mean that you win the title outright. Is it? So is that what you want to do in the future, or what's the status with that?
I would have to have two more fights to win it outright. You've got to have three defences. I've only had one so far. Obviously, I'm wanting to win it outright, and I think that's what I went to speak to a manager about the other day. But obviously, this has come up instead. So it's not for the British, but we're gonna after this fight now. I'll sit down with my manager again, sit down with Ben Boxer, and we'll see what's next. But I think we've got, like I said, we're in a great position. We've got a lot of options after this fight, so we just have to sit down and see what's best. But obviously, I do want to win the British outright if we can, but I also don't want to stay around domestic level too long and wait around too long. And I want to be pushing on to European level now and, world honours by next year. So yeah, we'll see what's available after this fight.
Have you checked any tape of your opponent, or are you just happy to be in with anyone?
I'll be in this, as long as Kevin says, if Kevin gives me an opponent, I'm happy. I'm happy anyway. But I've seen like two fights, I think, from him, and it looks reasonably tough. Obviously, he can punch. Looking at his record, so yeah, and I think a lot of times you can't. And I know he was supposed to fight on a boxer show as well in December, but he didn't get his visa in time. And I believe he was supposed to fight again on the 8th of February over in Sheffield as well, but there was some issues with the promoter that were putting that show on. So he's ready to fight. He's been waiting for a fight at super middleweight. So and I know that they're coming to win, and it's a massive opportunity for him. So like I said, I'm not going to be overlooking him, and I'll make sure I'm prepared, and I am prepared.
Mentioning early in this interview, you wanted to, in the Steve Woodall fight, get that kind of jab working a little bit more. And I saw you pictured with sparring Lyndon Arthur, who is very much known for his jab being one of his strongest assets. What was that sparring like? And did you feel like with Lyndon getting over that jab was something that you had to kind of work on?
I always have. I've been sparring Lyndon for years, and I've always had good sparring with him. No, I'd say I've got a better jab than him, to be fair, mate. Well, when we spar anyway, I land a lot more jabs on him than he lands on me. But I think everyone's different. But yeah, like I say, I always have great rounds with Lyndon. Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's a battle of the jabs or anything like that. I think obviously we've got two completely different styles. But yeah, we've got some good rounds in. Also, sparred a lad called Azim-Lipinets who just fought for English title. So I mixed it in with. So I stayed in for the 4 rounds and just mixed it in with both of them too. Obviously, just see where I was at, and yeah, we were more than happy with the sparring that I did and how I'm feeling. So yeah, we're happy.
Post the Steve Woodall fight you mentioned, and I think you made a promise to Liam Cameron as to defending the title against him. Is that in your mind here, 2025, keen to get that fight with Liam Cameron boxed off?
I'd love to fight Liam Cameron. I think it was early last year where we finished the sparring. Obviously, I've known Liam for years. I've been sparring him since about 20 when he was Commonwealth champ in our slam amateur. And yeah, we've always had good round sparring. And then obviously more recently, what he's been through, what he's come back from. I said to him, listen, I know I'm not the fight was never in place, but I said, I know this year I'm going to win the British title. And when I do, I promise you a voluntary defence. And he was all up for it. I were up for it. And then when I won it, he were kind of saying, stick by your promise, stick to it. And yeah, but I think it was spoken about earlier last year, but then he got the Ben Whittaker opportunity. He's performed well in that. And I know the Whittaker fight, I don't know if it's being made yet or getting made. However, for me, I think that is the biggest fight. South Yorkshire Derby would be absolutely massive. Sheffield, Barnsley, South Yorkshire all coming out. The stadium fight would be like just for the event, it'd be absolutely unreal. And yeah, Liam deserves that as well because again, for me, he's a top lad, good kid. And yeah, it'd be a great opportunity for him, and a great opportunity for me to show my skills against such a tough and talented boxer.
Put you on the spot a little bit, but if the rematch was to happen between Whittaker and Cameron, who would you back?
Probably about Liam. Probably about Liam. I don't know. It's an hard one because I did go for Liam the first time. To be fair, I think there's a lot of people overlooking him. A lot of people overlooking him, and I think Liam, he puts that pressure on. He's very tough. He's a Yorkshire lad, like I said, he's got that Yorkshire grit. He's very tough, and I think Ben in his pro career has not really been up against anybody yet. And again, I think there was overlooking Liam. But maybe Ben just had a very, very off night, and the second fight might be completely different. It might box Liam's head off. You never know. But we'll see. Wait till we see. But I think that fight probably will get made. I don't think I'll end up fighting Liam. I reckon he'll probably will fight Whittaker. But if that fight doesn't get made, I'd love to fight him in the summer. Yeah, it's there for him.
Just to reflect back on that fight with Steve Woodall in the build-up, there was a video kind of played talking about the loss that you had in your family. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I just wanted to ask you, what was it like, kind of being open and vulnerable in the sport, which demands so much toughness from its fighters? And I think I read as well too that like Johnny Nelson had seen the video as well in the build-up to the fight, and he had to step away from the broadcast because it made him emotional. But for yourself, what was it like to kind of be vulnerable in such a demanding sport?
Yeah, I didn't. I was more than happy to share, what had happened. Obviously, my little sister Lily who passed away. I was. It was more. It wasn't about me being open and vulnerable. It was more about getting her face out there and a
Mm.
tribute to her, and remembering her, and as many people seeing her as possible. That's what it was more about. But I'm an open person. I'm not that emotional, but with that, I was. But yeah, I think it probably helped as well. I think a lot of people, when they're going through tough times, they might bottle it up and not really speak to people. But whereas with me, we're doing interviews every week, speaking about Lily and speaking about her, and obviously I'm getting a lot. I think it's good to talk to people, and obviously that's what I was doing to the media. And yeah, I think when you're in the public eye as well, you kind of just got to accept that whatever happens in your life, or it's good or bad, it's going to get picked up by the media as a story. So, but again, I spoke to my family before, and they were all agreed that we should do a tribute to her, and they were all, yeah, it was a great what Sky Sports and Boxer had done. It was absolutely amazing. The video they did with Andy Scott. So I'm very thankful to Boxer and Sky how it all came across, and so I'm very thankful for them to them as well.
No, I thought you spoke really well. I got one final question, Callum. I don't have a good transition for it, so it's a bit of a shift away from it. But look, you've got a big following, a massive following that's growing, like I mentioned about the Ricky Hatton kind of thing going on with yourself. And in the UK, a fight that's been wanted for many years with two big following fighters in the heavyweight division is Fury and AJ. It would be a
Yeah,
shame if we didn't get that fight between the two now that Fury's
yeah.
retired.
Yeah, it'd be a massive shame. Be a massive shame. I've seen that Fury retired, but he normally likes to do something dramatic when there's other bigger events going on, like the ring event was going on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really look into all that. Actually, I don't really know if he's retired or not. It's not something I'm too bothered about in terms of looking into or thinking into. He said he's retired, so if he's retired, he's retired. But I think with Fury though, it's one of them fighters that, well, most fighters, they need something to aim for. They need a goal to push for. So I think that if he is out now and not got a fight date, not training, it would be very, very. It's like saying a year's time he changes his mind, or 6 months' time it would be very, very hard. I think it would be very, very hard for him to get back into the same shape that he performs well at for a fight with AJ. Whereas I think Fury's great at when he keeps the consistency, and he keeps his weight down, consistent, always in camp. That's when you see the best Fury. So I think if he was to come back, I don't know what shape it would be in.
Last thing, February 1st, you're in against a Hogga, defending your Commonwealth titles. What happens in that fight?
Same what happened to Steed. The same that I always want to happen. I go into every fight. I'd love to knock everyone out. Look to not. I want to. Every boxer would. But I'm not overlooking him. I think. I think with this one, like I said, with Steed again, there was a lot of things that we worked on in camp that we did in the first and in the second round. We worked on, so it'd be good to show a bit more of that as well. Just for me and not to anyone else, but just for me and my coach to know that what we've been working on, I can do it. I can do it on fight night and not just inspiring. So it might be a little bit more boxing, maybe on the back foot, front foot, a bit of both. But everyone that watches me knows that I like to get stuck in get a bit of action. So yeah, we will have a look. It might be a display of boxing with a nice finish or just a demolition job. We'll see. See what mood I'm in.
Looking forward to it either way, and hopefully you get a well-earned holiday afterwards.
Thank you,
Thank
mate.
you. Speaking to Seconds Out, and I'll see you on Fight Week.